Yo, what's good, everybody? And thank you for tuning in to another Tyler Perry Sisters review. This is season 6, episode 18, entitled From the Blindside. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, then you already know what it is and what it always will be. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you choose to, tell somebody to tell somebody. But if not, just sit back, relax, and we're going to get right into this messy to the third power messy thing. Y'all, Andy is met with Gary at Jordan's immaculate house. Long story short, we find out that Gary is engaged to Jordan's sister. So at this point, Gary is looking like, oh hell, because Gary doesn't want to get caught up. Andy is looking like, what the hell is going on between the sheets in my home? I must say, if y'all watched the live of me and Erica last night on her YouTube channel for Our Sister's Keeper, I got my entire life because it gave me great joy seeing Andy sweat like this. But one of the things that interests me is that Andy was acting as if she actually cared, as if she was actually hurt. And in my mind, I'm thinking, how dare you stand there and have all the audacity to be hurt by this when you had no problem messing with Gary when you knew the entire time that this man was married? What made you think that you were special? And like Erica mentioned last night, everything that Gary has done up until this moment has consistently proven to Andy that she is not of value to him, nor is she important to him. Period. He's always shown that. Later on, we find out that not only is Gary engaged to Jordan's sister Penelope, but Penelope is pregnant, and baby, she's good and pregnant because sis is showing. And Penelope seems to be this, nice girl. And I'm like, how the hell did she get caught up in the likes of Gary? He is literally a demon. Where's the discernment, Penelope? How did you get caught up? But I understand. Sometimes we can't see behind the smooth talk, the looks, the body, the promises. Sometimes it's difficult to see past that. But this opening scene was probably one of the better opening scenes that I've seen in a long time. So I'm going to give Tyler Perry his props on that. The only thing is we're dealing with Rich and Tony, and they are completely oblivious to what is going on simply because they are so enthralled with wanting to slide up in between Danny and Sabrina that they have no idea what's actually going on. So this entire time, Gary is trying to get the hell out of Dodge because he don't want to get caught up. And he kept stating that he needed to make a phone call, which I believe he was wanting to catch Penelope before she actually showed up to Jordan's house. But he didn't. And baby girl came when she was supposed to come. Let me just deal with this entire scene. Danny got on my last damn nerve last night. And I know that with the conversation and looking at some people's comments, it's almost like the fandom is split. Some people believe that Danny did the right thing by trying to expose Gary. Some people believe that it was the wrong place, wrong time. And I am with the latter. Yes, I believe that Gary should be exposed. Yes, I believe that Penelope should know what's going on with Gary. However, it was not Danny's business to tell. And it also wasn't the time or place. And I'm looking at Penelope. This woman looks to be about 6.5 to 7 months pregnant. And my thinking would be, I don't want to do anything that's going to cause this pregnant woman to be in a detrimental or harmful position by finding out such horrific news at a time like this. She's thinking she's coming over to meet this girl that her brother can't stop raving about. Never in a million years would she think that this woman has been sleeping with her fiance. And not only that, we find out that Gary and Penelope has been together for 3 years. And I said, well, damn, Gary, the last 3 years of your marriage to Jasmine, you was messing with Penelope. The entire time that you have been dealing with Andy, you have been with Penelope. Gary is diabolical. Gary is up and down the worst character on Sisters. He is absolutely horrible. And he has no consideration for anyone other than himself. Now, going back to Danny. So the girls go to sit down and, just chit chat amongst sisters, And Danny kept saying, I don't know how long I can keep it together. I don't know how long I can hold this, while they're talking to Penelope. So of course, she looks to be out of the loop as to, what's going on. Like, why does this girl keep saying this? And this is why I have such a hard time really vibing with Danny. Danny is attempting to blow up somebody's spot while she on a whole damn date while her man is at her crib. How you trying to blow up somebody and talk about what this man is doing to black women while you have a man that you committed to that you cheating on already? Danny wasn't with Preston a whole damn day before she was showing interest in another man and reconsidering how Tony might actually be that one for her. How? But you got all the audacity and the nerve to sit up here and try to throw stones out of your glass house? Miss me, sis, and sit your ass down somewhere. I just thought the way that Danny handled that was incredibly sloppy and it was messy as hell. I really did. Even when Andy wanted to leave, I could understand Andy wanting to get the hell up out of Dodge because it was a very uncomfortable situation. Danny, we're not going anywhere. I would have been like, okay, that's fine. We may not be going anywhere, but I am. Keep your ass here and call your ass an Uber. Oh, I guess you can't do that because you ain't got no money. So what you want to do? I would have left, and I would have left Danny's ass right there. Danny always says, I'm the one to keep it real. I'm the one that's going to tell it like it is. However, that doesn't apply in her own life because she's trying to avoid the hard conversation that she needs to have with Preston. So I didn't like that whole thing. And I actually will commend Andy because it's not every day that we see Andy take the approach of, hey, I want to be mindful how this news is presented to this woman. I don't want her world to implode because we just, haphazardly share this information about Gary. And then Danny made a statement, what she needs to know before she brings his damn child into the world. She's already pregnant. So whether the child is here or not, you telling her this information now, what does it really matter? What does it matter? I don't know. Danny just really, I didn't like the way she handled that, especially when she got her own stuff that she needs to deal with. So let's move right on along. There's a quick scene. I'll talk about this. There's a quick scene between Calvin and Maurice. So of course Maurice is ecstatic. He's happy because he ain't got to worry about Q anymore. These court cases, evidence. He's just happy to be free, truly free from the chains of damn Q. Okay, and I don't blame him. And it was a real lighthearted scene between him and Calvin. And I'm like, okay, I can vibe with Maurice when he's like this. Not over the top, not doing too much, but just watching two friends just have a conversation. And of course, do I believe Maurice needs to be with someone? Absolutely not. But Tyler, he gonna continue to push new penis in everybody's face the moment they get an opportunity to breathe. Okay? He's gonna push a new penis up on somebody. And Calvin is like, oh, we should go out and I'm going to help you find a good guy. That's what I'm going to do. And the one thing I will say I do like about the character of Calvin, he is a sincere individual. He truly is a friend to Maurice. He has gone out of his way to help Maurice in many different occasions. And I really do like that about his personality. And I know that he may be one of the characters that we may not see return for season 7. Am I upset about that? No, because there's nothing going on with Calvin. And the sad part is we actually know enough about him for there to be a story there. But that's just something that Tyler hasn't, I guess he's just refused to do. Maybe not finding the value in the character of Calvin. But we'll see what happens. We really don't know for sure who's in and out. But, we'll find out sooner or later. So, Karen is at home chilling and baby girl is meditating. I'm like, yes, sis, stay in your zen, stay in your place of tranquility and calmness because, girl, you need it. Because Tyler done run you through the ring of these past couple seasons. You need all the peace, all the tranquility, all the calmness that you can get. Because baby girl, woo. But anyway, Karen is doing her meditation and there's a knock on her door. She wasn't expecting anybody, and it was Brian, the contractor. Jason Weaver. He comes in and I'm like, it's about 8:30, bruh. Why are you showing up to this lady's home? So she welcomes him in and he talks about how much it's gonna cost to fix the salon. You're looking at 5 months. And she was like, wow, that's a long time. And he was like, we got everything you need. We'll do anything to help out a single mother. And she was like, well, how you know I'm single? Now, y'all, I don't know if it was just me. And I mentioned this last night during the sisters, our sisters live. Our sisters keeper live. And I said, what was Brian giving Karen some I want you vibes? His energy was real intimate. I said, sir, Mr. Married man with 7 children, I'm going to need you to back up because your energy, sir, is giving sex. Okay? It's giving sex. It's giving, I wouldn't mind seeing what you look like with your clothes off. It was giving that for me. And then I'm thinking, why the hell are you here? You're a contractor. You never heard of an email. Hell, I'll even say a text message. You showed up to this woman's house. And then we find out when Karen talks to Pam over the phone that he showed up unannounced. She didn't even know that he was dropping by. So what gave you the thought that it was okay for you to show up to a potential client's home unannounced and after dark? Y'all, we got to watch these women, these men. Women, we got to watch these men because they will use any excuse to come over to your house. If the contractor use it, you got to be careful. And I'm like, why y'all be opening up y'all doors for people y'all don't even know like that? Like, you literally met this guy once. You talked to him over the phone once. I'm going to need you not to come to my house, sir. Why was Karen so calm? Maybe because she was doing her meditation and that put her in like another, place or whatever. So sticking with Karen, she calls Pam because she gets the bright idea of doing hair out of her house. Like I said in my breakdown, I don't recommend it, but I understand sis is trying to obtain some type of, financial freedom while she's going to be, SOL when it comes to this salon. And so basically she sends Pam a list of things to purchase for her to do her hair. And I said, Karen, I get it, sis. I don't think it's the right thing for you to do. I really don't. Pam, of course, is going to be Karen's ride or die. She's going to do what's necessary for them to pull this off and to be successful. And I had someone in my comments or one of the comments, and they stated that they don't like how Karen talked to Pam. And I get it. I understand. And in the beginning, I didn't like it either because I felt like it was more so harsh than funny or humorous banter. Now I believe it's just humorous banter. That's just how they communicate. So I don't have a problem with it because I know it's not coming from a malicious place. Like, that's my take on it. But I do understand, why people feel that way. I think next up on the docket is Fatima and Zach. All right. Now, y'all, I'm sorry. This was one part of the show where so many things did not make a bit of sense to me. So they are in the car trying to determine whether or not they're going to go in to check on Michael. And as they are talking, we find out that Fatima lost a child at 17. A lot of people thought she was going to tell Zach about her abortion. And the way that the conversation is going, that's what I was believing too. Zach was saying how it was just one time with him and Heather. And I'm going to tell y'all straight up, I don't believe him. I don't believe Zach at all. And I talked about this during our live last night because if y'all remember when Heather first appeared at Zach's house, he swore up and down that he never had sex with her. He didn't know her. He never saw this woman a day in his life. Now all of a sudden you know that you only had sex with her one time. So you went from having amnesia to not knowing who Heather was, when y'all could have possibly had sex, no idea, to now you know all the information. It was just one time. And then last week when Karen was like, well, this is a child that you had on me. And Zach was like, well, actually, we weren't together. Really, Zach? I don't believe you, bro. I'm just sorry. Everything is just too convenient for Zach to be in the right. I don't believe him. I don't care what nobody say. I don't believe him. So as Zach is talking about this story, that's when we find out Fatima lost a child at 17, and she begins to explain how, she started messing with one of the neighborhood guys who everybody was warning her against, but she did it anyway. And I said a lot of women, a lot of young girls in our teenage years can relate to that story. You kind of are intrigued by the bad boy or what have you, and, hard head make us off behind, and you don't learn until you get into that situation and bump your head. And so she was trying to, this is where Fatima lost me. She was making the reference to everyone makes mistakes, which we all do. But the fact that Fatima was trying to compare a mistake and a bad decision that she made at 17 in comparison to Zach making a horrible decision at the age of 33, I said, Tyler, you can miss me with that. I'm sorry. It holds no weight. Thank you, Fatima, for sharing that story. It was sad, sis, because that makes me think Fatima has lost a child and she's also had an abortion. That's a lot. That's a lot to unpack as a woman. That's a lot. But I'm like, the story just didn't sit well with me. I'm sorry. The story didn't fit trying to make Zach feel better of the mistakes that he's made. I say ain't no way in hell. A mistake you made at 17 in comparison to his at the age of 33, I'm sorry. Hell nah. I ain't vibing with that. So they finally get out the car. And of course, here come the nosy ass neighbor, Heather B. And, she says, well, since y'all came around here, she don't be having no men coming in and out her house like she used to. This is another where I want to tell Tyler to kiss my ass. Tyler Perry. That was just last night, sir. Why are we acting as if days and weeks have gone by since this situation has happened? It was just a lot of confusion for me. Now, like I said, it's about 8:30. She tells them that Heather is not home. And they're like, well, where's she at? Well, where you think she could be? Well, how long she been gone? It's 8:30. That woman doesn't have to be home. Maybe she out doing mother and son things with Michael. Who knows? But I'm like, why are we acting like this woman can't, she can't do, it was just a lot. She can't do nothing with her son now. And I knew this mess was going to happen. I wasn't really looking forward to it. But it made me laugh because I'm like, why are we on 10 right now? Why are we on 10 with this situation? Because Heather isn't home. Hell, Fatima, you shot up the woman's house. I said, I can't. I said, I can't do this. I can't do it. So Zach was like, if you hear anything, you see anything, call and let us know. Zach pulls out a wad of money that still has the band around it as if he just got it from the bank. Sir, why do you have this in your possession? Why do you have this in your wallet? In your pocket. I said, Tyler. I said, you know what? I couldn't even stay in the scene because I could only, disconnect from reality, but for so long. Who walking around like that? Who walking around with 10 stacks on them like that? And you just gonna hand it to this woman? And she initially acted as if she was offended. How dare you come over here and try to give me your money? I'm not doing this for your money. I'm doing this for that little boy. He's innocent in all of this. And Zach was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean. And Fatima, oh, he's sorry. I said, Fatima, shut up. Let this man talk. He don't need you to talk over him or to apologize for him. He could do that for himself. We can all sing together, but we can't talk at the same time. And they kept going, oh, he's sorry. He didn't mean it. And you hear Zach, I'm sorry. I said, one of y'all going to have to shut up. One of y'all going to have to press pause and then let the other one finish the sentence. Because both of y'all can't keep apologizing and saying he didn't mean it at the same time because it don't work. That scene was so ridiculous. It really was ridiculous. And we find out that Zach doesn't know Michael's last name. So I'm trying to understand, you're trying to get this emergency court hearing about custody of this child. What child you trying to get custody of? Michael who? Heather who? And my thing is, they went to the hospital trying to look for him. How was you going to find him? You don't have a last name. Yeah, I'm here to look for my son. His name Michael. Okay, Michael what? Oh, I don't know. Okay, what's his date of birth? Oh, I don't know that either. I would think y'all trying to kidnap somebody. Get the hell out of my hospital. Get out my face. It was this. Don't get me wrong. This episode, I believe, was one of the better episodes. But the things that make it bad, it was just really bad. Like, it just didn't make sense. Some of the things that was happening. That situation with Fatima and Zach and that money, it was a lot. It was a lot. It just didn't make sense. It wasn't like a lot of scenes this episode, which I could appreciate that. It was just a lot. It was just a lot. Tony wanted to dance with Danny. And he was literally grabbing on her like she was a doll, like a rag doll. Just come on, dance with me. Come on, come on. Like just pulling this woman. And I'm like, for Danny to have had the abuse that we've seen her go through with Jonah, to be physically attacked twice by him, to be spat upon, to be hit, to go through something like that. The fact that there was no knee-jerk reaction, nothing, when Tony was pulling on her, it just wasn't believable. And I'm like, those are the kind of things that I think about as far as continuity is concerned. It has to go together. You can't tell me a woman is assaulted in that way and then a man who she's only interacted with 2 to 3 times pulls on her and she doesn't snatch her arm away, or she doesn't say, hey, don't grab me like that. Nothing. There's just nothing there. So it's just really interesting, y'all. We ain't got that many episodes left before season 6 is over, and I'm so looking forward to it. And I believe season 7 is going to come right back in January. So it's not going to be that long of a break based on what I've seen. I haven't seen anything concrete like from BET or whatever the case may be, but I saw something floating around about when SISTAS season 7 is supposed to return, and I think it's late January if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, like I said, episode 18, it was a decent show. I will give it that. But it was just some stuff, y'all. It was just some stuff. But I'm curious as to how people felt about the Danny situation. Did you feel that it was her place to say something? Do you feel that Andy should have said something? Or do you agree how Andy wanted to handle it? Like, yeah, things do need to be said, but I don't think this is the right time nor place for it to come out. So I'm just curious about where do you stand on that side of the poll when it comes to that particular storyline. But I want to thank you guys for listening. I appreciate all the new subscribers, the commenters, everyone who's sharing. I greatly appreciate it. Until next time, I will holler at y'all later, and y'all be safe out there. One.